Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television, and I'm here with Keith Brock, who is the Solid Waste and Environmental Coordinator for Marion County. And today we're going to talk about a couple of things that are going on in Marion County. First of all, we want to let you know about a change that's going to be occurring with the landfill, the CD&D landfill, right?
Yeah, March 1st.
Tell us what's going on with that landfill, what goes there, and what's going to be happening.
Well, you know, we've actually operated a construction debris landfill since, I'm going to say, for the last probably 20 years in Marion County.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can bring old sinks and wood waste and different things from construction drywall and dispose of them at a landfill. Well, the regulations are beginning to tighten up on the less than 1 acre landfills. Plus the leases, we pay a whole lot of money to find a spot to put this in. And we've kind of run out of spots to put it, to site it. Plus it's really expensive to maintain a landfill. So what we've decided to do is to move the construction debris acceptance of that waste out at the transfer station on Fairgrounds Road, effective March 1st.
Okay.
Now there's going to be some changes to what we'll take and what we won't take. The first, there was a little rate change because we've never been able to really break even on the disposal of it.
Uh-huh.
Plus, anything that's brought out to the transfer station as far as construction debris is now going to be transported directly from the transfer station to the Nelson County landfill, which we have an arrangement with, an interlocal agreement with. One thing that we're not going to take anymore is we're not going to take any debris that's in excess of 20 cubic yards. Now, to give you an example of how much 20 cubic yards is, about a level pickup truck load, a standard 6-foot bed, is about 2 cubic yards, 2. So we're going to still take a lot of waste, big trailers. But we won't take any whole house teardowns anymore after March 1st because the old landfill will be closed. And what people do if they tear down a house, the contractor has already loaded that for disposal, and they'll just have to calculate what it's going to take to get that waste to another landfill. We would suggest them going to the Nelson County landfill with it, which is about 34 miles one way, and that'll just have to be reflected in the bid to tear the house down.
Uh-huh.
If you come to the landfill, the transfer station rather, after March 1st, and if you don't have a full trailer, then the personnel that work out there will estimate, and if you have a half a trailer, then you'll only be charged for half a load. You know, we really try to help people that way. But that's going to be changing March 1st, and there'll be a new rate sheet. And if you go to the transfer station, or if you go to our existing construction debris landfill now, we have handouts that we'll give the individuals when they come and ask for them.
Okay.
Okay?
So as of March 1st, we have the rest of the month of February to take care of those needs if we need to.
Yes.
Before they close. Now, also, we've been talking before about addressing in the county, and your office takes care of the green signs that are seen all around Marion County, because each home throughout the county is expected to have some kind of marking, correct?
That's correct.
And there was a time when they could come in and get a sign for free, but that is actually continuing for new construction, is that correct?
Yes, what we did about 2 years ago, for a period of about 3 months after we started the 911 addressing program, we gave everybody in the county a free sign with their numbers on it. We did about 9,000 signs. That's about how many address points there are. There's a lot of addresses in the county.
Uh-huh.
But after that 90-day window, the signs were gone and the monies were not allocated to give out any more signs. Well, we determined recently, the magistrates determined recently that there were people who didn't pick them up the first time around through, procrastination or for whatever reason. Plus, any people that build houses or businesses going forward needed a sign too.
Uh-huh.
So they allocated enough money to where we can now give out signs to those that did not pick them up the first round, and also to the new houses and new businesses that are being built. They can come to my office at the David R. Hergen Government Office Building, usually Monday through Friday, and go to the county judge's office. And the girls over there have been educated on how to do the signs, plus I do them over here at my office too. But I only work 3 days a week, Monday through Wednesday, unless there's a holiday. But we'll get you a sign. If you didn't pick it up the first time, or if you have a new residence or a new business that's been built, we'll supply you with a free sign. They're free.
Okay. And it also is a requirement, so if you don't have that, you might want to look into it, because it is a requirement. There is an ordinance that you need to have some kind of signage.
There is.
Not necessarily you have to have this green one, but you have to have a signage.
You have to have a signage, and the ordinance actually calls for certain size letters, and not a colored sign, you know, a certain color, but certain size letters, and reflective, that you can see it at night, and on both sides of the sign. And we'll supply you with one if you didn't get one the first time around.
Yeah.
Glad to do that.
And as I mentioned, Keith is the solid waste coordinator for Marion County, which means that he covers the recycling as well. And the effort that we're doing at Central Kentucky Television is to help people with getting into recycling who aren't currently doing it, or to help them do it properly. So if somebody wants to start recycling, if they have been recycling and want to get started, what's a good process for them, and what can be recycled in our area?
Well, we originally got a recycling grant from the state in 2007, which is 11 years ago. And we established a county-wide recycling program. And we used the City of Lebanon's facility up on Woodlawn Avenue to process the materials. They were already in the recycling business, the City of Lebanon was, and we partnered with them. And it's a 50-50 partner as far as the fiscal court and the City of Lebanon goes. And as a result of that grant in 2007, the fiscal court was approved for a grant, and we bought several trailers, big 26-foot long trailers with bins on them, and we spot those trailers out in the community. In Bradfordsville and Raywick, and also Loretta, and the school systems. And we spot those trailers for use by those communities and schools. Twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, we use inmate labor and a truck and an officer to bring those trailers that have been filled or recyclables have been placed in them by the community. We bring them in and turn them and empty them. We bale the commodities and return the trailers on a schedule to the communities. What do we take? Well, there are some commodities that we do not take. We don't take waste oil and antifreeze. Antifreeze is actually a hazardous waste, and we really don't have a way of dealing with those. We don't take styrofoam. I wish I could, but styrofoam has to be melted, high temperature melted, and has to be put in liquid form and then recycled that way. And you have emissions and fumes and problems with that, and we'll probably never get into styrofoam recycling. But other than that, we basically take everything. We take all types of paper in the trailers, and also at the drop-off center on Woodlawn Avenue here in Lebanon. We take all types of papers. We take all types of plastics. We take glass. The most valuable commodity that we currently take is cardboard. We have a cardboard route in Marion County where we bought a compactor last year. It's mobile, and we go to about 55 businesses in Marion County and pick up their waste cardboard, which saves them from disposing it in the dumpsters. And we recycle it and sell it to try to defray the cost of operating the center. And we do a lot of cardboard.
Now, I know there was a time, and I'm not sure whether it is still currently, like if you do glass, you need to clean it out properly beforehand, or can you just, if you empty something out and you just throw it out, is that still able to be recycled?
Well, you've got to understand what we do with the glass and the plastic jugs and bottles when they get to the recycling center. In many cases, the things that you deposit are handled a second time by inmate labor. We have a sorting line, and this is kind of gross, but if we have a glass bottle or a plastic bottle that's been used as a spit container, we don't want that. Because what'll happen is if you put a contaminated, or if you fail not to adequately rinse the containers, then you could potentially spoil the whole bale when it's compacted and when it's baled.
Right.
So yes, you don't have to worry about taking the lids off, the plastic lids. We'll take the lids, and we can deal with those. But dirty containers are a problem. Now, one of our biggest commodities that really spoil a whole bale is dirty cardboard. Now, here's an example. Let's say that you've used cardboard box in your shop and you have an oil, it's oil soaked. Or what about food containers, pizza boxes that have oily pizza in it? We really can't use that, and we would encourage everybody to give us clean stuff, as clean as humanly as possible, because you could potentially spoil the whole bale, and it causes our workload to be really greatly increased if we have to separate it, or if we fail to separate it. It causes us problems.
Now, when you go to the facility on Woodlawn Avenue with your own, if you decide to do that, you actually can put the different commodities into different bins as well.
They're labeled, big pictures and big labels saying cardboard here, newspaper here, plastic bottles here, milk jugs here. And it's really interesting that there is a particular plastic that's pretty valuable, and it's milk jugs. It's HDPE. It's high density polyethylene. And we like to have the milk jug separated from the other plastic bottles. That's the reason we put different bins up the recycling center, because we can't commingle it, and we can't put the plastic drink bottles in with the milk jugs and bale it all together, because they give us nothing for it. It has to be separated.
Okay. So that's a little bit of some information on recycling. What is the benefit to the consumer to recycle? How does it benefit them?
We've actually struggled with that as far as the county government goes, because we know that recycling will never be even a break-even proposition. But we understand that one day the society that we live in, and we're currently pushing 7.3 billion people in the world. At some point, we're going to have to discontinue. We're going to have to wean ourselves away from being a throwaway society. So the biggest reason for recycling, even though the consumer doesn't get any monetary gain much out of recycling, now that's with the exception of businesses. Now if we do a cardboard route on a business, they normally would have thrown that in a dumpster and would have had to have paid for disposal. But the consumer itself, the regular household consumer who recycles, it is the right thing to do as far as mankind goes, and as far as the environmental issues go. It's the right thing to do. That's the reason that the fiscal court in the city of Lebanon continues to fund it, because it's the right thing to do. And you can thank your council members, especially your fiscal court members and county judge, for that decision, because it's the right thing to do.
So there's some recycling tips, and if you have other questions about that or what needs to be done, you can either visit the facility on Woodlawn Avenue in Lebanon or contact Keith, right?
You can.
Right. This has been Gary White with Keith Brock, who is the Solid Waste and Environmental Coordinator for Marion County. Thank you very much.
Okay.